You're listening to the Hollow Hollow Hour on Biology Radio.
No escaping this.
The Hollow Hollow Hour, shining the light on Filipino pride, culture, and heritage on Biology Radio.
Yeah, yo, that's right. Filipino. I'm so Filipino. Filipino. I'm so Filipino. Filipino. I'm so Filipino. No one's ready to deal with us. We're gonna get on down now.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of the Hollow Hollow Hour right here on Biology Radio. Thank you all for tuning in. But before we get started here, I want to allow the crew to introduce themselves.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Glenn Oury.
Happy Friday, everyone. This is DJ Rennie D.
Happy Friday. It's the Real Thai Tiger.
All right, well, before we could get our guest in here, man, we want to make sure that you guys are following us on Instagram and YouTube at the Hollow Hollow Hour. And if you're interested in some of our merch, log on to www.chateaudiamagdesigns.com and go to the merch section and look for our banner, and you get some exclusive merch for the Hollow Hollow Hour. And also, if you missed the live airing of our show on Biology Radio, you can find it on the Hollow Hollow Hour on the YouTube channel. And so right now, we have a very special guest with us here today, a man of many hats, of many achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the Hollow Hollow Hour, Mr. Lyle del Mundo.
Welcome in, Lyle.
Welcome.
Thank you. Do I clap for myself, or what is how does that work? Oh, okay. Thanks for having us. I love Hollow Hollow when I was a kid, when I was not lactose, but today I love it.
It doesn't have the same hit when you use like soy milk.
Yeah. It doesn't, not at all. No.
We got to use the rice milk.
Yeah. So no hollow hollow for you. It'll be hollow hollow entering and hollow hollow coming out.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But thank you again for having me here. I appreciate you guys, and thank you for the opportunity to share a little about myself.
Absolutely, man. We're happy to have you here, man. And so let's go ahead and get ready, man, with our first question, man. So you've worn many hats. You've been a nonprofit leader, marketer, producer, and entrepreneur. How do you usually introduce yourself when someone asks, "Hey, Lyle, what do you do?"
That's actually always the global question. Like, what the hell does Kuya Lyle actually do? So I guess in a nutshell, besides being an entrepreneur, I'm known mostly as a Filipino cultural consultant. That's probably the title that was given to me by various agents and managers, because pretty much what I do for a living is I connect the dots. What I've learned is building relationship capital for the past 3 decades. It's not necessarily what I know, but it's who I know, right? And marrying the two relationships between whether it's a celebrity or a brand to, their needs or wants, within how they want to either advertise their product or put their brand in front of a different celebrity, or even helping with some of these cultural moments that you've been seeing within our community. But I'm also founder of Plus63, which is a global creative network, which is comprised currently of 23 Filipino creative organizations throughout Canada, the US, the Philippines, London, Paris, Germany, Singapore, and Australia. So pretty much literally connecting the dots on a global level is what I do for a living. Hopefully that answers your question.
Wow, I'm tired, man. So do you get a chance to sleep?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, I'm 53. Yeah, I'm 53 years old, brother. Like, naps every day are very important. Whether I'm on a plane, or a train or automobile, yeah, definitely. It's important to take naps for sure. Yep.
Funny story, like we just met Lyle maybe last year. It was at a house party, and we were all kicking it, and he was there, and he was just chilling, and then we just chopping it up. We were drinking and had no clue, and then I think he was just like, "Hey, do you know this person? And I was kind of looking at the picture and I was like, oh, that looks like her. And he was just like, this is Gabby, right? Like by her first name. And he's like, oh, and he shows me something that he did. It's like, oh, I did some work with her. And, sometimes you just never know, right? People judge book by its cover. And I thought he was just like a friend of the house party person and kicking it. And then like, I think he got wasted and he just left. Where's Lyle? Like, I don't know.
Irish goodbye.
And I guess he got like my Instagram and then reached out to Ty and then we started talking and then we were like, oh wow, he's got his hand in a lot of things. And then funny top of the year, January hit, and then he hit me about the Seafood City, madness party that we all did in Concord. So he's like, hey, what are you doing this date? And I was like, oh, can you do this? I'm like, oh, you do that? He's like, yeah, I'm like I manage all those accounts. So I was just like, whoa. And here we are, we're trying to like get in one of them. And here he is, the guy that had the magic key, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, we were asking the wrong people, evidently. So.
Yeah. So how that happened with Seafood City was, again, like Seafood City is actually an old client. Like I've been helping them connect with the community, whether it's locally, or nationally, and since 2018. And then the origin of the Seafood City Late Night Madness was actually a concept, that was developed by Patricia Francisco and Miguel Francisco from the marketing team at Seafood City Corporate. And, they were wanting to help, push our culture through food and music. You guys already know this is a big part of our upbringing, whether it's house parties that we used to go to, and that what brings us together, right? So they're opening the Daly City store, and an amazing, talented DJ, JP. At the time, he was doing a lot of these experiential streaming, DJing like in different locations, like, like golf courses and stuff like that, right? So JP had like sent a message, someone had recommended, like, why don't you do it in a grocery store next? Then he sent like a message tagged, I think it was like Jollibee, H Mart, Seafood City, and some other grocery store. And then Seafood City responded right away and had asked JP to be their very first Seafood City DJ, which kind of sparked the whole thing. That was back in September of last year. And then they wanted to do it more frequently, and because JP does an amazing job of producing streaming videos, he streamed it live, and that's kind of like where it caught on. Then Seafood City reached out to me like about first week of October and said, hey, can you help us scale this into other markets? So I was just like, yeah, sure. Like, where are you thinking? And then they're just like, well, can you handle Canada and Seattle? And we already got Daly City handled. Can you handle like LA and everywhere else? So I was like, easy. I do that in my sleep. So that's because, I've done that for other brands in the past, not necessarily grocery stores, but, for whether it's liquor brands or whatever. And, like, as I mentioned earlier, right, really kind of connecting the dots for brands and connecting them with talent. Again, I guess because my answer is still very vague as far as like what I do professionally, but some of the examples besides Seafood City is one of my clients is, Funko was one of my past clients as well. So, I did the licensing deal for Joe Coy, her, Bella Porch, other Filipino talent to really immortalize them as Funko Pops. I've helped Bella Porch, as well. If you guys don't know who Bella Porch, she's Filipina singer, and social media influencer. She has an album coming out soon. But, I helped her with her Vans footwear endorsement deal, which she did for 2 years. So she was endorsing Vans for the past couple of years. Same with like Bretman Rock and connecting him to do an endorsement deal with like Bench in the Philippines. With him, Sweetie, Jordan Clarkson, Marshawn Lynch, I helped them, connect with Philippine Airlines so they could actually go back home. Between her, Gabby, Bretman, Bella, also connected them so they get their Vogue Philippines cover. So they did their photo shoot, and we're also again documented forever, on the cover of Vogue Philippines, obviously one of the biggest, lifestyle fashion publications in the world, right? So that kind of gives you a better idea of like what I do is I do a fairly decent job of connecting those dots and marrying brands and doing these type of partnerships. So hopefully that expands, your mind on kind of some of the things that I do.
We're just going to call you the plug.
Right, the hookup.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a break and give Lyle a breather here from all these questions. We'll be right back after this here at the Halo Halo Hour, only on Bayology Radio.
You're listening to the Halo Halo Hour on Bayology Radio.
Yeah, got up in the morning, said magandang umaga. Rice in my taza, eating bitata. I'm a top rhymer, came from the bottom. Panse canton, overtop ramen, and I put that on my Ina. She a Filipina, yo mama mean, well my mama mean. Yeah, we finna link up at Magna Cocina. When she pulled up to the party, now she wants some longanisa. I said, hoy, walang pera, palawagan, put it all together. Baki, tell me why you staring. Oh yeah, I'm a Lodi, I'm a era. Got a 40 that I carry. I'm a OG like De Niro. Wear a bag when I pull up. You just thought then I'm there. A pair of stick-ups when I get up. Put your hands up in the air. I said I'm born in Iloilo. Kanong sang baniko.
There's a party. Wow. Oh, special delivery. Uy. SBC Packers.
What's in the box?
I don't know. You tell me.
What? Wow, pancit canton.
The best.
Hey, what else is in there?
Oh,
what is that?
Oh, surprise.
Why is there a hamster in here?
We pack anything at SBC. Careful with the incisors.
Then I got up in the morning, said magandang umaga. Rice in my taza, eating bitata. I'm a top rhymer, came from the bottom. Panse canton, overtop ramen, and I put that on my Ina. She a Filipina, yo mama mean, well my mama mean. Yeah, we finna link up at Magna Cocina. When she pulled up to the party, now she wants some longanisa. I said, hoy.
Uy, magdiwang tayo. Salamat po, my paradise can't fold. 100 riggities, my bankroll. Me and Talilo on your necks, that sneak dissing cause y'all scared to check your ego. And we waking up the block like 415s. On my Ina, I be wiggling. Tap, tap, tapping in like getting tatted up by Ate Whams. You forgot, Malakas na uga. We still hype you on you punk rock.
When I got up in the morning, said magandang umaga. Rice in my taza, eating bitata. I'm a top rhymer, came from the bottom. Panse canton, overtop ramen, and I put that on my Ina. She a Filipina, yo mama mean, well my mama mean. Yeah, we finna link up at Magna Cocina. When she pulled up to the party, now she wants some longanisa. I said, hoy, this a boy, Suka in the soy, looking good with a bad boy. I'm saying, hoy, we making noise. This for all of my peanuts and my noise. I'm going gago in this party. Ay, I got it started. Ay, 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 ay. We going gago in this party. Ay, we got it started. Ay, going gago, going gago, going gago. When I got up in the morning, said magandang umaga. Rice in my taza, eating bitata. I'm a top rhymer, came from the bottom. Panse canton, overtop ramen, and I put that on my Ina. She a Filipina, yo mama mean, well my mama mean. Yeah, we finna link up at Magna Cocina. When she pulled up to the party, now she wants some longanisa. I said, hoy.
The Halo Halo Hour, shining the light on Filipino pride, culture, and heritage on Bayology Radio. All right, we're back here with the interview with our special guest, Mr. Lyle del Mundo. We're going to continue now with our questions here at the Halo Halo Hour.
All right, I guess it's my turn. So, Lyle, growing up in Chicago and eventually becoming a leader in the Filipino American community, what experiences shaped your passion for serving and, uplifting this community?
Honestly, I want to say my journey in public service started back in 2015. I was recruited by the former executive director of SIPA, Search to Involve Filipino Americans, which is one of the oldest Filipino nonprofits in the country. They've been serving the community for, I believe it's like 53 years now, something like that. But anyway, so honestly, when I was recruited by Joel Jacinto, the former executive director, is really, to kind of help the organization redevelop leadership and kind of breathe new life into the org, right? Because, naturally had me gravitate towards the organization is because their focus was really serving youth and families. And being that, I'm a father of 4, it was important to me at the time and still now, preservation of our culture and heritage is, it's very important to pass down to the next generation. And that's some of their programs, were all about. So I think sharing my experience, knowledge, and resources, into this legacy organization, I think that was probably the start of it. And from there, rebuilding, the organization, redeveloping the organization, seeing it close to bankruptcy, and then into now flourishing organization, where they're no longer in debt, they're able to serve others because of the position that they're in now. I think that was really the start of, my journey being a public servant.
Lyle, going back to +63, I was at your event that you just had out at the Lumpia Company. And I loved it, man. I was surprised to see all walks of life, different artists, DJs, everybody was out there, and you, like you said, you brought everyone together under one roof. You connected the dots. But tell everyone what +63 is and how you came about with it.
Honestly, +63 is, it's interesting how even the branding came about. I founded another organization called FACE, or Filipinos Advancing Creative Education, which we dissolved about a year ago. Unfortunately, there was some paperwork that were just misfiled. So then redeveloped, kind of like took a break a little, and then rebranded into this new iteration of creative nonprofit and global network. So +63, for a lot of people that don't know, is the country code of the Philippines. So, if you call the Philippines, you have to dial +63 first. And then depending on the carrier, whether it's like Globe or Smart, you have to dial like 917, 918 or whatever, right? But we took the definition of it into a whole different level. So our logo, the way it's designed, is the plus in front of +63 is really an open invitation to collaborate, with others. So whether it's an organization, a brand, a podcast, we always believe that we'll lead together side by side, but we would always put their brand before ours. So in this case, Halo Hour +63. And then after the branding, we have a colon, and, just like any other colon, like the meaning of, like a colon is something to come. So that would be our purpose, right? So, which, we have +63 Gives, which is our nonprofit arm. That's where we do a lot of our philanthropic work in the Philippines and here as well. And then our +63 Summer Social that you attended, the other week. So that's also another purpose that we intend on doing, is bringing our creative community together, as well as, here in the Bay Area, it's very interesting because even though there's so many talented people here, it also, what thrives and what some of the biggest industries here are tech, biotech, and obviously the venture capital and angel investment firm like finance is a huge part of the, economic ecosystem here in the Bay Area. So that's why, we did our Summer Social to kind of bring all those walks of life together under one space and bring people together outside of their events, because typically we only see each other at each other's events, right? So this was an opportunity for people just to chill and relax, like connect with other creatives or people in tech. So that's why it was important for us when we did the RSVPs for people to identify what industry that they're in. So unlike, a lot of mixers or networking events, usually you wear like the name tag, hello, my name is Slim Shady or whatever, right? But by pre-identifying what industry people are in, whether in music or in fashion or TV and film, they had different color coded bracelets, so that, not to say that you're wasting 30 minutes of your time meeting new people, but if you really want to get down to networking with the people that you do want to connect with, you could already identify what industry that they're in, right? It's like, oh, you're wearing a red wristband. Oh, you're in music. I'm in music. Like, what do you do in music? Versus, hey, Rennie, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a nurse. Oh, okay. like,
guessing games, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So it kind of eliminates the process. But yeah, Plus 63 was really to help bridge, our creative community on a global level. Like, as I mentioned, currently we have 23 nonprofit organizations and creative organizations throughout the globe, building this ecosystem throughout. Over the next couple of years, you'll see like a phased rollout of some of the things that's more to come, which I can't really talk too much about. But yeah, thanks for asking.
And that was the first one in Northern California, right?
Yeah. That was the first one. Like, people for like years, they've been seeing my events in LA. Sorry, I apologize. Our events in LA, because again, like this shit's not about me, right? It's about we. So it's important to not only verbalize that, but also to give recognition, because the organization was really built to collaborate with others. Earlier in our lives, we thought we were like invincible and we could do shit on our own. But as we got older, I think we realized like, there's actually strength in numbers, and we cannot do this alone. So it's important, that we learn to collaborate and connect with other people and, see where we could support each other. But yeah, this was the very first one in the Bay Area, and we're looking to do them quarterly, rotating venues throughout the Bay, supporting other, Filipino-owned businesses. This one was kind of special because Alex Rototo, the owner of the Lumpia Company, he was an old friend of mine, but he also introduced me to my wifey now, my fiance Janice. And he's also obviously the ninong to our children, but he's also a big dot connector. I've learned a lot from Alex, and pretty much I blame him for uprooting me from Chicago here to the beautiful Bay Area back in 2009. So thanks, Alex. You son of a gun.
And out of all the days that you do your first NorCal event, you do it on the same day that John and I have a big important gig, man.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, FOMO, seeing all the photos the next day. Like,
Yeah. But it's okay. We'll be at the next one.
Next one.
Yeah.
The next one
Yeah,
will be.
for sure. I'll give you guys plenty of time to like. I know y'all busy too, so like, I'm not gonna sit here and ask you like, yo, just skip your gig. Like, y'all gotta get your bag too. So there'll be more.
All right, Lyle, man, our next question here, man. Was there a specific moment when you realized you wanted your work to have a bigger impact beyond business?
Honestly, having my youngest son, like who's Grayson, who's 16 years old now, I have 4 children, right? I think by the time I had Grayson, that's when I was in a place in my life where I felt that I could do more for our community, I'm not just talking about serving those less fortunate, but, actually people who are also in need of, some educational or economic resources. That's why we put this organization together as well. But after my time at SEPA, it really kind of like pushed me to continue doing community service. And I think the reason why is because I didn't want to leave SEPA, but it was part of my responsibility to amend our bylaws at SEPA so that board members had term limits. I think, with most organizations across the globe, they run into this issue where board members are sitting and they're part of these organizations for like 10, 15, 20, 30 years, right? And they don't want to hand the reins over or pass leadership over to the younger generation because, sadly, our elders kind of still think of us as kids. Like they don't think that we could handle it, or selfishly also, not to call them out or anything, but selfishly, some of them also don't want to kind of relinquish their position or seat or role, or in the organization. So that's, I think, at that point when I termed out at SEPA, which was 6 years of serving an amazing organization and seeing them, like I mentioned earlier, go from almost bankruptcy to a thriving organization. They're in a great place, after I left. it just wanted me to do more. And, I think the only way to do that was to either start my own organization or join another organization. And yeah, I think to go back to your question, I think, that was kind of that moment where I just wanted to continue being a public servant and doing God's work.
Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and give Lyle another breather, take another break here at the Hollow Hollow Hour. We'll be right back. Yee!
You're listening to the Hollow Hollow Hour on Bayology Radio.
Filipino product, hooked on by high old school vibes. I can roots, I can try. Remember the days, a bunch of us kids just rolling together, blessing elders in our family, reminding us all to stay in unity. Yeah. Represent a fine heritage from music culture that we share. Giving thanks to our communities, paved the way for towns to be seen. Happens all across the bay. We be doing this our own way. Stay true, still I knew the in my heart. One beat, one love from the very start. Cause how long I loved you. One time, one love inside my heart. I'm gonna love you till the end of time. One time, one love inside my heart. In the place to be, kamusta na? Ang aking kababayan, anong balita? I got a heart of a lion, a mind of a giant. Stand tall on the soil, loyal to the island. Pride and joy to provide for our families. In the States we defy more than just gravity. With faith represent 3 stars and the sun. Got dozens of presents so we come together as one. Now everybody's down for these shades of brown. We gonna eat, we gonna sing, see we family now. Always in the background, making our magic. Take nothing for granted ever since Lola landed. Viva Fiesta, motorcycles and Vespas, jeepneys, balloons, puto bong bong, singers, dancers, DJs divine. Better late than never, it's Filipino time. That's how long I love you. One time, one love inside my soul. I'm gonna love you till the end of time. One time, one love inside my soul. People everywhere, put your fist in the air. We the overachievers believe in the power of prayer. Stand up, cause you have a faith to be a proud Filipino for the strength of you and me. People everywhere, put your fist in the air. We famous around the world for giving the best care. Stand up, cause you got a place to be where everyone appreciate each other's company. All my people everywhere, put your fist in the air. We salute our root, let's go, let's go. Stand up, won't you come and follow me and get a taste of home cooking all you can eat. All my people everywhere, put your fist in the air. Laban Pilipinas. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. One love inside me, one time, one love inside my heart. How long I love you inside me. Inside my heart. I'm gonna love you till the end of time. Inside me. One beat inside my heart.
Time, hour, entertainment.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here at the Hollow Hollow Hour, only on Bayology Radio. We're going to continue with our guest, Mr. Lyle del Mundo.
Lyle, I got a question for you. I know we were speaking off air before we started the interview, but what I want to ask, what challenges do Filipino American organizations face today, and where do you see the biggest opportunities for growth?
Oh man, I think I touched on this a little earlier. I want to say the biggest challenge that all Filipino, not just Filipino American, but Filipino Canadian, Filipino organizations globally, I want to say their biggest challenge is with leadership and setting term limits. Like I mentioned earlier, a lot of organizations like SIPA, there were no term limits. There was board members sitting on there 5, 10, 15, 25 years, right? And I respect, obviously, my elder colleagues and the amazing work that they've done within the community. But I think the biggest opportunity really is to kind of help pass the baton and extend that to the next generation. I think, so for example, with SIPA, what I did was when I amended their bylaws, I made sure that our board members could serve a maximum of 2 terms, 3 years each, so that every 6 years, if they choose to stay a full 2 terms, every 6 years, they're able to bring in younger leadership, which means new resources, new ideas, more experience, also a wealth of knowledge, right? And I think that's where a lot of organizations across the globe kind of fail. I mean, and it's not just Filipino. Look at like our current government, or government in the Philippines or other governments, right? Like you see some of these, whether they're presidents, senators, congressmen, like, dude, these guys are like lifers, serving the government. And I get it. They get comfortable, but this goes on being a board member at an organization. Like at some point, you're tapped out of your own resources, your connections, your experience, because you've already shared that as much as you can. So, I think the opportunity there for these organizations is to reconsider, look at your bylaws, reconsider bringing in leadership. But yeah, most importantly, bringing in the right leadership. One thing that I did, because a lot of people, I've spoken on different panels about intergenerational leadership across the country for different organizations. And, to get a little deeper into it is, because people have asked me like how was I able to, get some of the older leadership to step down. And I think for us, at SIPA, my former colleagues and board members, they did amazing work for the community, and they still continue, some of them still continue to do so. For me, when I became president, it was important to identify kind of like the weaknesses within the organization. And then from there, I was able to identify an active or board members that were willing to donate their time, talent, and treasure to fill in those roles. So, for example, at the time, we didn't have any strong marketing. So, besides myself, like we needed, stronger marketing. Like how are people gonna know about our organization and our services that we provide to the community if there's no marketing, right? So, I found my friend Rachel Buenviaje, who's the West Coast Regional Marketing Manager at Nike. And then, there was also, we had no PR people, no publicist or someone to kind of streamline communication. So I recruited Jessica Del Mundo. At the time, she was the Vice President of PR and Communication and Golan PR. So that was also strategic when I was recruiting some of these board members. Honestly, I kind of had, a lot of people are like, well, that still doesn't make sense. How were the older leadership able to step down, right? It was after identifying these people and recommending them to join the board strategically, I had to kind of think like how my parents did. Our parents, they're easily impressed by, like if you're introducing your girlfriend or boyfriend to your parents for the first time, one of the first things that they ask is, what do you do? If you say, I'm vice president at Golan PR, like, oh yeah, come on in. Yeah, come on. What do you want to eat? They welcome you with open arms, right? Huh? But what I was actually doing was I was strategically and intentionally stacking the vote. So when it came down to passing policy, eventually there was more of us that were under the age of 50 at C-suite level positions at some of the largest corporations in the country that were filling in these roles, that were willing to donate their time, talent, and knowledge and resources, that eventually there was more of us than them. So that's when everyone just slowly started resigning. And that was kind of like the turnover of SIPA and the new age of SIPA. And that's honestly when we were able to really start getting the ball rolling and getting the organization back on track to now where they are, if not the largest Filipino organization, nonprofit in the country, but definitely in LA for sure.
Man,
Hopefully
so you're not only the plug, you're not only the connector, you're also the fixer, man.
Yeah. The builder, I would say the builder.
The cleanup man.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. But yeah.
So Lyle, so we're seeing more Filipino artists, athletes, and creators, break into the mainstream here. What still needs to happen for Filipino stories to become truly normalized in the media?
Honestly, I believe that I think what needs to be more normalized is the fact that our immigrant first generation parents have to come to the understanding that we don't actually fill or serve in these traditional roles that we were used to growing up, right? Whether it's becoming a nurse. I mean, Joe Coy's they've made jokes about this endlessly about Filipinos a nurse, but he wanted to be a dancer or those type of roles. Now more and more you're starting to see Filipinos taking these type of roles, like you mentioned, whether they're people in music or fashion or athlete, different type of creatives. The amazing thing in what I want to really give props to is the journalists within our community. There's so many amazing Filipino journalists, and honestly, they're the real storytellers, not just within our community, but every community, because they're sharing everybody's stories because they have access or work for mainstream media. So I think that's really what needs to happen is people need to take a more active role pursuing, what you actually want to do. Not necessarily what your parents want to do or what's safe, but take that risk. A lot of people, me included, right? My dad wanted me to be an engineer. My mom wanted me to work in the medical industry, but I already knew from the age of 12 that I was going to be a business owner, entrepreneur. My first job, I was 12 years old while my other friends were delivering newspapers or mowing lawns or babysitting or shoveling snow, obviously because I'm from Chicago. Me and my two other Filipino homies, we started our first mobile DJ business, DJing our 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, all the way through college, doing mobile DJ services, DJing our school dances. And from there, that's kind of where I got the bug. I could make money on my own terms, and following the traditional route isn't not necessarily for me. But yeah, I took that risk, and, I think other people can too.
Man, what's weird, man? I always pushed my daughter to be a dancer. She danced, and I thought she was going to be a dancer. And guess what? She just graduated as a nurse.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
It just counters what you just mentioned there. So
yeah.
Stereotype, right?
That was your reverse psychology, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah. She's good though. She's good. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Yep.
Yeah. Until today, my parents still worry about me. They're just they honestly, they still don't even know what I actually do.
I know either.
Tell them to tune into the Hollow Hour only on Bayology Radio.
Yeah, there you go.
They'll know. They will know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take another break here briefly. Here at the Hollow Hour, we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Hollow Hour on Bayology Radio.
You're in the mix with Glenn Oury on Bayology Radio.
Shawty, if it's a Filipino party, you know I'm gon' slide, 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 slide. Shawty, if it's a Filipino party, you know I'm gon' slide, 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 slide. First off, shoes off, that's law. What's up, Tito, Tita? When you get into a room with Filipinos, you won't feel lonely, bruh. I'm talking, did you eat? I'm talking, how's your mom? I'm talking, how's your girlfriend? I'm talking, how's your job? Okay, we taking shots, sige na, isa lang. I know you already ate, but just fill your plate and take some home. Bruh, if you cool with us and you roll with us and you can't go wrong, grab that magic microphone and do your best Celine Dion. Shawty,
it's a Filipino party, you know I'm gon' slide, 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 slide. Shawty, if it's a Filipino party, you know I'm gon' slide, 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 slide. All my people at the party, let me know. Do we got some Filipinos on the floor? Brown skin, light skin, I see you go. Y'all just need some Filipinos on the floor. Big booty bebo, now drop it low. All my Filipino fellas come through the door. Brown skin, light skin, I see you go. We just need some Filipinos on the floor. Shawty, if it's a Filipino party, you know I'm gon' slide, 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 slide.
Go crazy.
Break it down. Break it down.
I like my bad, I like my money tall. Diamonds gigging on me, MJ off the wall.
Everywhere we go, it's a party, y'all. Show them like it's Mardi Gras. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Do it like that, baby salt and pepper shaking it. I don't chase a shot, tell me why would I go chase a in Colombia? Now she got a brand new shape with it, like my bad. Promise there ain't no mistaking it.
She a stallion, she ride me like a Bronco. Pretty wet, my got that combo. She like the that I put it on her tonsils. I hit it, I'm pulling on her frontal.
Hey, no, I cannot be your man. Got touching green, feeling like I'm Sam. I am 10 toes, never sit on business. I stand 10 toes, never sit on business. I stand.
Keep my name up in his mouth, he a fan. Skinny, but my pockets on Roseanne. Throwing money on her body, got her clapping with no hands. Spinning game up in her ear, got her coming out her.
I like my bitch bad, I like my money tall. Diamonds gigging on me, MJ off the wall.
Everywhere we go, it's a party, y'all. Show them like it's Mardi Gras. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy. Go crazy.
Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that I should've bought you flowers and held your hand. Should've gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, cause all you wanted to do was dance. Now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man.
Are you ready, Manong? Okay, let the music begin.
Mahal pa rin kita kahit ako'y nagagalit nang makita kang kasamang ibang babae. Ayokong masaya kung di akong dahilan. Baliw ako kahit sinasabi na maraming lalaki. Ayoko ng iba, gusto ko lang sa akin ka lang, walang iba. Baka mapatay ko siya dito, ganda. Pagkatapos sa iyong bago niyang nobya, baka mapatay ko siya, mahal pa rin ko siya. Ikulong mo na lang ako kaysa'y mag-iisa.
DJ Glenn Oury.
Halo Halo Hour, shining the light on Filipino pride, culture, and heritage on Bayology Radio. Folks, welcome back here at the Halo Halo Hour only on Bayology Radio, and we're back with our guests for more questions.
All right, Lyle, are you ready for the serious questions, man?
Sure. If these weren't serious already, yeah, go ahead.
We're gonna get real deep right now, okay?
Sure.
All right, first question. What's your favorite Filipino food?
Oh man, I would say beefsteak Tagalog. Yeah, with garlic fried rice.
Ooh, see, with the rice.
Got to.
Got to. Do you like it with extra onions?
That, but also extra sauce.
Yeah, you have to have the sauce, right?
Yep.
And I like it extra sour.
Oh, yeah.
More lemony than salty.
Correct.
All right.
It's like my uncle said, it's more appetizer.
Yeah.
We went out to brunch. I'm not going to say the restaurant out here locally. And then one of the plates that I ordered was the beefsteak. And there was no sauce. And I was like, really?
What?
It looked like this pieces of tri-tip that they just didn't put no sauce. And they
just
had
dried up
vinegar. Yeah, it was just dried. I was like, I was offended, man.
You should have told them this is not mistake. This is mistake.
It's a mistake, right?
Yeah, it's a mistake. Yeah.
Warren G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that tri-tip or dry tip?
Yeah. Did you look in the back in the kitchen? Like who's cooking?
No. Last time we had it, that was our second time at that restaurant. There was sauce, and for some reason they forgot it. I don't know.
Beef jerky time. You want some beef jerky?
Fail.
Epic fail.
Like I said, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant, but
yeah.
You'll tell us offline, so we.
But yeah.
All right,
Stockton do better.
Yeah. Another question for you, Lyle. Sinigang or chicken tinola?
Oh man, I would say gang sinigang.
You go wrong with the sinigang, right?
Yeah.
What type of protein in that sinigang? Fish, spare ribs, what?
All of it, except I can't have shellfish. So anything but shellfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I keep my feminine figure, man.
There you go.
Do you know for sure that you're allergic to shellfish?
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could be around it, like I could like even touch it, but I mean, I can't like consume it. Like if I consume it, like EpiPen, like.
Okay, so you know for sure. Because the reason why I mentioned it, or the reason why I asked, is because my daughter was in town a month ago, and she and I went out with one of her childhood best friends, and we went to go have Mexican food, and he ordered something that had shellfish in it, but I remembered he was allergic to shellfish. So I was like, oh, wait, you can't have that. And he was like, oh, no, very exciting development. I'm not allergic to shellfish. Never was allergic to shellfish. It was just something his parents told him from when he was a little boy.
Oh.
And he went his whole life without having shellfish. And so he goes on to tell me a really cute story that after he discovered that he was not allergic to shellfish, he went on to eat massive amounts.
I would too. I mean, imagine like...
He was so excited.
Yeah, I would be too. I mean, you're deprived your entire life.
Yeah.
Imagine if your parents told you can't have garlic fried rice all your life. And the next thing you know, it's like, wait, what? I can actually eat it?
Or rice in general. I would be like, okay, why am I here?
Yeah, I would be livid.
Okay, so you've worked with celebrities, athletes, and major brands, right? So what's been your most unexpected, I can't believe this is my job moment?
Honestly, this is kind of a very embarrassing story. Like, now that I think about it, man, do I really want to? So anyway, back in 2008, I had, again, connected the dots and produced this event in Chicago called the Asian American Nightlife Conference, TANK. And nightclub promoters, DJs, they flew in from all over the country, including like Alex Rototo, Anthony Presents, Expo was there. I mean, like a bunch of the homies from the Bay, LA, New York, Miami, Houston, like all over, right? And it was sponsored by this spirits company called Diageo. So if you guys don't know, Diageo is the parent company of Don Julio. Honestly, the majority of the brands on the shelf: Crown Royal, Don Julio, Johnny Walker, Jose Cuervo. And they sponsored different parts of the conference. Most of it was lunches and dinners. So like we did a Don Julio sponsored lunch at Fogo de Chao. But it was also, a spirits training so that we'd learn actually more about Don Julio, the different, whether it's añejo or whatever. Then they got to try 1942. Mind you, this is back in 2008, right? So every lunch and dinner, like for 3 days straight, everyone was just hammered. But because of the result of that, there was my old boss, her name's Dia Sims. At the time, she had approached me at the conference and she was like, thank you for giving us the opportunity to sponsor. She was the head of this brand called Ciroc Vodka. And she had, approached me and she was like, Lyle, after observing, what you did here, bringing all these promoters, DJs across the country that were Asian, would you be open to taking a role with us as the national Asian brand manager for Ciroc? And she worked for this company called Bad Boy Worldwide, which, as you know, Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy was the head of all of it, right? So I joined this organization after this, nightlife conference I did. And honestly, it was also selfishly, I did it in January, the dead of winter, to celebrate my birthday. It's like, let me get all my friends together, let's all get hammered on, someone else's dime. People will get to meet each other as well, connect, build with each other across the country. At that point, when, I joined the Bad Boy Worldwide, they flew me out to New York, their corporate office. Obviously, I met Sean Combs himself and the entire Bad Boy team, which at the time, interesting enough, was also run by Asians, like almost every division. So there's Dao Yi Chao, he was running Shanjan, the fashion line at the time. And then there's my other buddy, Eric, he was running Bad Boy Records, the music side. And then there was me on the spirit side, which is brand new to Sean Combs at the time. So this is the early days of influencer marketing, right? So our roles were really to do conversions. If I saw Glenn, at the club and this dude's like drinking a bottle of Belvedere, I'd be like, yo, Glenn, being that you're very influential here in the club, in the market, why don't you pour out that bottle of Belvedere and I'll give you 2 bottles of Ciroc.
but does it come with rice?
That was kind of like how we influenced and did conversions from the brand, and successfully. I believe in the first year they went from producing like 80,000 cases a year, and after first year I think it went to 400,000 cases. Like that's which was I think the first in history to ever see that type of growth from a brand. But I think from there, that's when that moment was just like the oh fuck moment. Like, okay, now I am, like dealing like with some of the people that are shaping not only our culture, but hip hop culture, period. Right. So that was that moment, that oh fuck moment. Like, okay. But for me, in the back of my head, I was also thinking, I think this is just going to be the start of not only myself, but other people empowering our Asian community across the country.
Nice.
Did he gift you a box of baby oil?
No. No, for sure. But I mean, I definitely set myself up for that one. And truthfully, I have attended, a lot
all white party.
Yeah, in the Hamptons. And the interesting thing is that home is owned by a Filipina. Yeah, I'm not going to name any names, but yes, I was just like, what? I've been here before. But it looks different during the day.
I recognize the ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, like, I want to say people like in my role, in my position, there's like obviously different levels to these type of these Diddy parties, right? And we weren't allowed in those areas.
Yeah, you were out by midnight.
Yeah, correct. Even sooner. I'm not trying to implicate myself, but yeah, definitely out before all that hanky panky happened. So
yeah.
Yo, Lyle, check it. Tell your friends to get with my friends, and we can be friends. Shit, we can do this every weekend. That's right. All right. Is that all right with you? Yeah. Keep contorting.
Take that.
All right, we're down to the last question here. I like to ask this question. If you could have dinner with any three people, dead or alive, famous or not, who would it be with and why?
Oh, wow. Jeez. Yeah, I would say Maximus from the movie Gladiator. Probably Leonidas from the movie The 300. And then I would love to have dinner with my dad one last time. Unfortunately, he passed 4 years ago. But I believe all three of them, were great leaders in different time periods. Respectfully, I think they may all have different leadership styles, but I think I've learned a lot from each one of them. Real life, obviously my dad. So yeah, those are probably the three.
Good choices, man. I thought you started with Leonidas and Maximus. These guys ready to go to war, man. Like,
I thought you was like Maximus, Optimus Prime. What?
Mine was one of mine was Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Oh, see?
Kind of the same reason. I was like, man, she's like a dope person in her time. So
yeah, I mean, again, it comes down to leadership, right? Like that phrase from Talladega Nights, Ricky Bobby, not first, you're last.
So you survived it here, Lyle. You survived it here in the Hollow Hollow Hour. Before we let you go, anything you want to plug, you want to promote, your socials, man, you want to promote all that?
Yeah. I mean, my personal social is just I am of the world. A lot of people ask why I am of the world is because Del Mundo means of the world in Spanish. As far as +63, our socials are PLUS, the number 6, THR, the number 3, and the letter E. And then probably lastly, I'd love to plug that coming out July 6th is our monthly +63 mixtape that our brother Glenn here is going to be blessing us with his amazing talent. We put out this monthly mixtape really to, as another platform for our Filipino musically inclined talents, to put some spotlight on them. But we're also using it as an industry platform to seed music supervisors, whether they're in gaming or TV and film, ad agencies or whatever, to really get some of these new artists, recognized, or even existing artists and people doing remixes of them. But yeah, thank you again, guys, for having us, having me. Happy Philippine Independence Day. It's a time to celebrate.
Well, Lyle, man, it was an honor, man. Thanks for giving us a little peek into the window of your world and sharing a bit about yourself. And thank you so much for gracing the airways with us, man. So this has been another episode of the Hollow Hour, only on Bayology Radio.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.
Till the end of time. Something new. One beat, one song.
Thai Hour Entertainment.